Welcome to BL Without Labels, where the story isn't defined by words, but by moments. Stay with the story. Shipped in my sleep. Chapter 1. I was shipped, cursed, and extremely awake. I've been called a lot of things. Golden boy. Muscle monster. National crush. But cursed? That's new. My name is Ethan Cole, elite athlete, sculpted like a Greek statue with absolutely no control over my reputation. Girls flirt. Cameras flash. Life should be simple. Then there's my roommate. Julian Cross. Unfairly handsome. Annoyingly calm. The kind of man who looks sinful without trying. And somehow, the internet decided we belong together. I first notice it when I wake up hard. Which would be normal if I hadn't been dreaming about him. Not naked. Not doing anything illegal. Just close. Too close. In the dream, Julian smiles at me like he knows a secret. His fingers brush my waist, casual, familiar, and my body reacts like it's been waiting. I wake up sweating, heart racing, sheets twisted like I lost a fight. Nope, I mutter. Absolutely not. I stomp into the bathroom only to find him there, shirtless, towel low on his hips, water dripping down his chest like this is a personal attack. Morning, Julian says. His voice does things to me. I look away too fast. You were talking in your sleep, he adds casually. My soul leaves my body. What? He smirks. Said my name. I choke on air. That's impossible. Is it? He asks, amused. Later that day, my phone explodes. Edits. Fanfiction titles. Comments like they look married already. One post reads, if they sleep in the same room long enough, they'll fall in love. I laugh it off. Until that night. When I dream again. This time, Julian presses me against a wall, not touching, just close enough that I feel heat everywhere. You should stop fighting it, Dream Julian murmurs. Fighting what? I ask. Us. I wake up gasping. And in the darkness, I hear Julian laugh softly from his bed. Ethan, he says gently. I think you're dreaming too loudly. That's when I realize something is very, very wrong. Because this doesn't feel like imagination. It feels like magic. And my hot roommate might be the curse. Chapter 2, The Dream That Wouldn't Let Go. I woke up with my heart racing. Not the just woke up kind of racing. The why do I feel like I just cheated on reality kind. The ceiling above me was familiar, our shared dorm room, faint sunlight slipping through the curtains, but my body didn't believe it yet. My skin still remembered warmth that shouldn't exist. A presence that wasn't supposed to be real. Him. I squeezed my eyes shut, hoping the dream would dissolve if I ignored it. It didn't. In my dream, he hadn't been my roommate. He'd been something else, closer, softer, dangerous in a way that felt sweet instead of threatening. We were lying side by side, not touching, yet somehow everything felt intimate. Like the air itself leaned toward him. He smiled at me in that dream. Not his usual smug, competitive grin. This one was slow. Knowing. Almost tender. As if he knew I was dreaming of him. I groaned and rolled over, burying my face in the pillow. Get a grip, I muttered to myself. You're an athlete. Girls literally scream your name. As if summoned by my denial, I heard movement behind me. Sheets rustling. A lazy yawn. Talking to yourself again, his voice murmured, low and annoyingly calm. I froze. Too close. Way too close. I turned slightly, and there he was. Hair messy, shirt clinging just enough to show the shape of his chest, eyes half-lidded like he'd just woken from something pleasant. My stomach twisted. Why did he look exactly like he did in my dream? Why are you staring? He asked, amusement flickering in his eyes. I'm not, I snapped instantly, sitting up. Don't flatter yourself. He chuckled. Actually chuckled. Like my irritation was entertainment. That's how it always was between us. Cold War. Silent battles. Tiny provocations. Everyone thought we hated each other. But hate didn't explain why my dreams betrayed me. He stretched, arms lifting, shirt riding up just enough to expose skin I absolutely did not need to see this early in the morning. Rough night? He asked casually. I swallowed. Perfectly fine. Really? He tilted his head. Because you were saying my name. My heart stopped. What? He grinned wider. Relax. I'm joking. I hated him for that grin. Hated how it made my chest tighten. Hated how my dreams suddenly felt like evidence. I stood abruptly, grabbing my towel. I'm taking a shower. Already, he teased. Did I make you nervous? I turned, eyes blazing. In your dreams. Something flickered across his face then, brief, unreadable. Maybe, he said softly. Or maybe in yours. I slammed the bathroom door harder than necessary. Under the spray of cold water, I pressed my hands against the tiles and exhaled shakily. Why him? Why not the girls who flirted openly with me? Why not the cheering crowds, the attention, the easy admiration? Why did my mind choose the one person who challenged me, provoked me, and looked at me like he was waiting for something to crack? Outside the bathroom, I could hear him humming faintly. Too calm. Too close. And the worst part? A tiny, traitorous part of me wondered. Did he dream of me too? Chapter 3, Everyone sees it but me. If dreams were harmless, they wouldn't follow you into daylight. By the time we reached campus, my name was already echoing across the field, cheers, whistles, phones raised. Girls waved, some bold enough to call out compliments without shame. This was my world. Muscles earned by pain. Admiration earned by sweat. And yet? Your fan club's growing, my roommate said beside me, hands in his pockets, voice light. I scoffed. Jealous? He glanced at me sideways. Why would I be? Because you're watching too closely, I almost said. Instead, I walked faster. The whisper started before practice even began. They're together again. They always arrive at the same time. Do you see the tension? Someone write a novel already. I clenched my jaw. Shipped. Again. Someone had actually made fan art, us standing back to back, dramatic lighting, ridiculous captions about rivals with secret feelings. It was supposed to be funny. It wasn't. I confronted him after warm-ups, grabbing his wrist and pulling him behind the bleachers. Say something, I hissed. He blinked. About? About this, I gestured wildly. The rumors. The shipping. The whatever this is. His wrist was warm in my hand. Too warm. He didn't pull away. Why does it bother you so much? He asked softly. Because it's stupid. Or because it feels too close to the truth. My breath hitched. I released him instantly. Don't psychoanalyze me. He smiled, not teasing this time. Curious. You fight me more when you're confused, he said. That hit harder than any insult. Practice was worse. Every time I lifted weights, I felt his gaze. Every time he sparred, my attention snapped to him instinctively, how his muscles flexed, how focused he looked, how annoyingly perfect his form was. When a girl from the media club flirted openly with me, laughing too loudly, leaning too close, I saw his jaw tighten. Just for a second. That night, exhaustion dragged me into sleep the moment my head hit the pillow. And then, the dream returned. But this time, it wasn't gentle. We were standing in a place that didn't exist, moonlit, endless, like a floating world. Magic shimmered in the air. Symbols glowed beneath our feet. Fantasy. Fate. You keep running, Dream him said, stepping closer. I don't run, I snapped. He reached out, not touching, just hovering near my chest. Then why does your heart sound like it wants to? I woke up gasping. The room was dark. Silent. Except. You okay? His voice whispered from the other bed. I turned. Our eyes met in the darkness. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then he said, very quietly. You said my name again. The silence stretched, thick, charged, dangerous. I was dreaming, I said. I know, he replied. So was I. My heart skipped. What did you dream about? I asked before I could stop myself. He smiled faintly, eyes reflecting moonlight. You. And for the first time, I didn't fight him. Chapter 4, almost touching, almost caught. The dream didn't wait for permission. It pulled me under the moment my eyes closed. This time, the world was warmer, golden light instead of moonlight, thick like it was breathing with us. We stood in a floating hall made of glass and magic, reflections stretching endlessly. And he was closer. Too close. So, he said, voice low, teasing, you came back. I didn't choose this, I replied, but my body betrayed me by stepping forward. In this place, emotions were louder than thoughts. Every heartbeat echoed. Every breath felt shared. You always say that, he murmured. We stood inches apart. I could feel heat radiating from him without touching. His hand lifted slowly, stopping just beside my waist, hovering. Tell me to stop, he said. I couldn't. My throat tightened. My pulse thundered. Instead, I whispered, why does this feel so real? He smiled, not smug, not playful, soft. Because maybe it is. The air shimmered. Magic reacted to our closeness, symbols glowing brighter beneath our feet. When his fingers finally brushed my wrist. Electric. Not lust. Connection. I gasped. And woke up screaming. Hey! I shot upright in bed, tangled in sheets, heart racing. He was already there. Standing. Shirtless. Too awake. You okay? He asked, grabbing my shoulders instinctively. That was mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 was me realizing we were way too close in real life too. Mistake number 3? The door burst open. Our teammates froze in the doorway. Silence. Then. Did we interrupt something? I shoved him away instantly. No. He laughed. Actually laughed. Wow, someone muttered. They even deny it in sync. I could have died on the spot. The day became a disaster montage. We got paired together in drills on purpose. Someone, accidentally, locked us in the equipment room. A towel snapped at us with a wink. A fan handed us matching drinks and said, for the couple. I lost it. This is your fault, I snapped later, storming down the hallway. My fault, he said, jogging after me. You're the one blushing. I do not blush. He stopped suddenly. I walked straight into him. Chest to chest. Again. The hallway was empty. Quiet. Too quiet. His voice dropped. You dreamed again, didn't you? I looked away. He gently lifted my chin, hesitant, respectful, but intimate. Did I touch you? He asked softly. My breath shook. Almost. His thumb brushed my jaw, barely there. Next time, he said, smiling, don't wake up so fast. I slapped his shoulder and walked away. But my heart was smiling. And somewhere between reality and dreams, something had already begun. Chapter 5, when dreams start remembering us. The dreams stopped feeling like dreams. That was the problem. The next night, I didn't fall asleep, I fell into him. The dream world greeted me like it knew my name. The air shimmered silver blue, softer than before, warmer than it should have been. The glowing symbols beneath my feet rearranged themselves the moment I arrived. He was already there. Waiting. You're late, he said, arms crossed, expression unreadable. My chest tightened. You knew I'd come. He smiled slowly. You always do. This time, there was no distance between us. No wide space. No hesitation from the world itself. The magic pulsed gently, as if encouraging closeness instead of warning against it. You remember now, he said quietly. Remember what? How it feels, he replied, stepping closer. When you stop pretending. I swallowed. In this place, lying felt impossible. I don't know what this is, I admitted. He lifted his hand, slow, careful, giving me time to pull away. I didn't. His fingers brushed the side of my neck, warm, grounding, real enough to make my breath stutter. Neither do I, he whispered. But it keeps choosing us. The world brightened. Not explosively, intimately. Like candlelight flickering higher. Our foreheads touched. That was all. And yet it felt like everything. I woke up with my hand clenched in the bedsheets. And his name on my lips. Real life wasted no time humiliating me for it. We were assigned to clean the equipment room together as punishment for disrupting team focus. Translation: everyone wanted us alone. Of course, the door jammed. Of course. Don't even say it, I warned. He leaned against the shelves, arms crossed, amused. I didn't do anything. You exist, I said. That's enough. He laughed, then softened. Did you feel it too? Yes. The word slipped out before I could stop it. The teasing stopped instantly. The room felt smaller. Warmer. Good, he said quietly. Because I thought I was imagining things. Our phones buzzed simultaneously. A message in the team group chat. $5 says they come out holding hands. I groaned. He reached for the door handle, then paused. Hey, he said, not looking at me. In the dream, you didn't pull away. My heart pounded. Neither did you. The door suddenly opened. Light flooded in. Someone whistled. Someone cheered. He stepped back like nothing had happened. But when we passed each other, his fingers brushed mine. Just once. On purpose. And that night, when sleep claimed me again, the dream smiled. Chapter 6: The way he looked away. Jealousy doesn't announce itself. It slips in quietly, tightening your chest before your mind catches up. I noticed it during practice. A new transfer student had joined the team, tall, charming, loud in a way that pulled attention effortlessly. He laughed easily, praised my performance openly, stood too close when he spoke. Normal. Harmless. So why did the air feel different? I glanced across the field. My roommate wasn't watching the drill. He was watching us. His expression was calm, too calm, but his hands were clenched at his sides, knuckles pale. When our eyes met, he looked away instantly. That shouldn't have bothered me. It did. Later, the transfer slung an arm around my shoulder, joking about grabbing food together. The team laughed. Someone shouted something about stealing the star athlete. And then, I'll take him. My roommate's voice cut through the noise. Flat. Certain. Everyone froze. The transfer blinked. Oh, sure. I stared at him. What? He didn't look at me. Coach said we need to review strategy. Now. He grabbed my wrist and dragged me away before I could argue. We didn't stop until we reached the empty stairwell. What was that? I demanded. He finally turned. His eyes were dark. You don't like people touching you like that, he said. Yes, I do, I snapped automatically, then hesitated. Did I? He stepped closer. You didn't pull away. I didn't need to. Then why did it feel wrong? The question landed between us, sharp and honest. I exhaled slowly. Why do you care? Silence. Then, quietly, because I didn't like it. That was worse than anger. That night, the dream world greeted us with stormy skies. The glowing symbols flickered unevenly, reacting to emotion instead of proximity. "You upset?" I said. "So are you." We stood apart this time. "Who was he?" he asked. "No one." The wind howled. "Then why does your heart react when I imagine you choosing him?" I took a step forward. "You don't get to be jealous." "Neither do you," he shot back. The magic flared. Suddenly, we were closer, pulled together by something neither of us controlled. "I don't want to share you," he said, voice low, raw. My breath hitched. "In dreams or in real life?" I asked. His hand curled near mine, not touching. "I don't know anymore." The storm stilled. I woke up with his name burning in my chest. And the next morning, the transfer asked me out for coffee. Before I could answer, "He's busy," my roommate said, wrapping an arm around my shoulders. The room went silent. I looked up at him. He leaned in and whispered, "Just for me. Let them be jealous too." Chapter 7, Pretending Gets Dangerous. Fake dating was supposed to be simple. Smile. Stand close. Let rumors do the rest. That was the plan. Reality laughed at it. His arm stayed around my shoulders far longer than necessary. Not stiff. Not awkward. Warm. Familiar. Like it had always belonged there. "Relax," he murmured as we walked into the cafeteria. "You're acting like I'm hurting you." "You're suffocating me," I muttered. He leaned closer, breath brushing my ear. "You don't sound convincing." The room exploded. Whispers. Phones. Grins. Someone shouted, "Finally." I wanted the ground to swallow me whole. We sat together, too close. His knee brushed mine under the table. Once. Twice. On purpose. "You're enjoying this?" I accused quietly. He smiled into his drink. "Maybe. The worst part?" So was I. The dream that night was different. No storm. No distance. We were in a quiet field beneath floating lights, the magic calm but alert, watching. "You shouldn't have done that," I said. "You didn't stop me," he replied. I stepped closer. "This is getting out of control." He reached out, fingers stopping just short of my cheek. "Then tell me to let go." I couldn't. Not in dreams. Not in real life. The lights dimmed. The space narrowed. His breath warmed my skin. "Why me?" I whispered. He smiled sadly. "Because you see me. Even when you pretend not to." I woke up inches from his face. Real face. Real bed. We had somehow rolled together in our sleep. Frozen, breathing the same air. Slowly, his eyes opened. We stared at each other. "Morning," he whispered. I bolted upright, heart pounding. This didn't mean anything. He sat up too, hair falling into his eyes. "Then why didn't you move?" Silence. Later that day, a teammate cornered us. "So," they smirked, "fake or real?" He answered before I could. "That's between us." The words settled heavy and warm. That night, the dream didn't come. But the feeling stayed. And I realized something terrifying. Pretending had stopped being a lie. Chapter 8, The Moment We Stopped Lying. The dream came back with a warning. The sky was no longer gentle. The floating lights trembled, pulsing like a heartbeat gone uneven. The symbols beneath our feet glowed too bright, too fast. "This place is reacting to us," he said quietly. "To what?" I asked, already knowing. "To the lies." The word echoed. I took a shaky breath. "What does it want?" He stepped closer, eyes searching mine. "The truth." I laughed bitterly. That's asking too much. The world flickered. Pain sparked through my chest, not sharp, but heavy. Emotional, almost disappointed. I grabbed my shirt instinctively. He reached for me without hesitation. "Hey, look at me." I did. "In here," he said, pressing his palm lightly over my heart. "You don't have to be brave." Something cracked. "I'm scared," I admitted. "Of what this means. Of what I might lose." He smiled softly. "And what you might gain." The dream world stilled. Closer. Closer. Our foreheads touched. "If this is fake," I whispered, "it hurts too much." "Then stop pretending," he replied. I didn't remember leaning in. I only remembered warmth. The kiss was slow. Careful. Like we were afraid the world would shatter if we rushed. His hand cupped my jaw, grounding me. My fingers curled into his shirt like instinct. The light exploded. And I woke up. My lips still tingled. Real life didn't give me time to recover. We were called to a press shoot. Couple photos, someone joked. I tried to laugh it off. But when the photographer said, "Lean in closer," we did. When they said, "Hold the pose," he didn't let go. Our faces were inches apart. I could feel his breath. This wasn't a dream. "Is this okay?" he whispered. I nodded. And this time, I closed the distance. The kiss was quick. Soft. But real. Someone gasped. Someone cheered. Someone dropped a camera. I pulled back, heart racing. The room erupted. Later, alone, he smiled at me the same way he did in the dream. "No magic this time," he said. I smiled back, shaky but honest. Maybe we don't need it anymore. That night, the dream world was quiet. Watching. Waiting. Chapter 9, When Reality Starts Listening. The world noticed. By morning, the kiss wasn't just a rumor, it was proof. Screens lit up with blurry photos, slowed clips, captions filled with screaming emojis and theories. "Did that actually happen?" someone asked in the hallway. I didn't answer. He did. "Yes." One word. Calm. Certain. That was new. I should have panicked. Instead, my chest felt strangely steady. But the dreams changed. When sleep pulled me under, I wasn't entering the dream world anymore. I was being called. The space was sharper now, edges defined, light precise. The symbols beneath us rearranged into something almost readable. "This place reacts when we're honest," he said, studying the ground. "And punishes us when we're not," I added. As if agreeing, a pulse of energy rippled through us, warm, intimate, binding. "Does it hurt you?" he asked softly. "No," I admitted. "It feels like being seen." He reached for my hand this time without hesitation. The magic settled instantly. That scared me. Real life brought consequences too. We were pulled into the coach's office. Questions about focus. About distractions. About professionalism. I tensed, ready to fight. He spoke first. "I won't let this affect the team," he said. "But I won't deny what's real either." The coach studied us for a long moment. Then sighed. "Just don't break each other." That night, back in our room, silence hung between us. "Are you scared?" he asked. I nodded. "A little." He smiled gently. "Good. That means it matters." We lay side by side, no touching, but close enough to feel warmth. The dream came quietly. No spectacle. No magic flares. Just us. Sitting together beneath soft light. "Whatever this is," I said, "I don't want it to control us." He squeezed my hand. "Then we choose each other. Not the dreams." The world around us dimmed, satisfied. I woke up holding his hand. Neither of us let go. And for the first time, the future didn't feel like something to fight. Chapter 10, Close Enough to Stay. The first thing I noticed when I woke up was warmth. Not sunlight. Him. We were still holding hands. Real hands. Real room. I didn't pull away. Neither did he. For a long moment, we just lay there, breathing in sync, like moving would break something fragile and newly formed. You snore, I said quietly. He laughed, soft and sleepy. You talk in your sleep. I groaned. Please tell me I don't confess things. He turned his head to look at me. Only my name. My heart skipped. Practice that day was different. Not easier, focused. We moved together without planning, instincts aligned. The team noticed. Whatever you two are doing, someone joked, keep doing it. Public affection wasn't part of the deal. But somehow, he handed me water without asking. Fixed my posture automatically. Waited for me without making it obvious. Every small thing felt louder than grand gestures. That night, the dream world returned, but gently. No force. No pull. Just a quiet place where we could sit. You don't have to come here, I said. I want to, he replied. We lay side by side in the dream grass, fingers intertwined, watching light drift like fireflies. Do you ever think about what happens after? I asked. After what? After people stop watching. After the excitement fades. He turned to me fully. I think about whether you'll still choose me. I swallowed. I'm still choosing. He smiled, relieved, real. Back in reality, we fell asleep like that too. No dreams needed. But somewhere deep beneath the calm, something shifted. And I sensed it. The bond wasn't done testing us yet. Chapter 11, The space between us, expanded. The calm didn't last. It never does. It slipped away quietly, without warning, like a breath held too long, finally released. I heard it by accident. A voice muffled through the locker room door. His voice. Calm. Controlled. Too steady. National training camp. 2 weeks. Immediate. My hand froze mid-air. 2 weeks. The words echoed louder than they should have. 2 weeks meant different dorms. Different schedules. Different nights. No shared exhaustion after practice. No quiet laughter before sleep. No dreams waiting for us in the dark. I stepped back before anyone could see me standing there like I'd been struck. When I finally confronted him, he was already wearing that expression, the one he used when he decided something alone. You're leaving, I said. Not a question. He nodded. It's a big opportunity. His voice was steady. Practiced. You didn't tell me. A pause. I didn't want to worry you. That was the moment it hurt. Not the distance. Not the time. The choice. The fact that he thought protecting me meant shutting me out. Practice changed after that. Not cold. Careful. We moved around each other like we were made of glass. No casual touches. No stolen glances. When our hands brushed accidentally, we pulled away too fast, as if the contact might shatter something fragile. Everyone noticed. No one said anything. The dreams changed too. The world that once glowed softly now felt dimmer, like light seen through fog. The symbols beneath our feet flickered, uncertain. You're pulling away, I said there. So are you, he replied. His voice wasn't accusing. It was tired. I'm scared, I admitted, the words heavy and small in the quiet space. Then say it, he urged gently. Don't disappear. But fear tangled my thoughts. How do you ask someone to stay when you don't want to be the reason they hesitate? How do you say choose me without feeling selfish? I stayed silent. The night before he left, the room felt heavier than usual. We sat on our beds, facing each other, surrounded by packed bags and things left unfinished. The light was low. The air still. "I'll come back," he said softly. I nodded, staring at my hands. I trusted the words. I didn't trust myself to survive the waiting. He stood, hesitated, then stepped closer. Slowly. Like he was afraid I'd move away. He leaned down and rested his forehead against mine. Warm. Familiar. Our breaths mingled. No kiss. Just closeness. Just the promise hanging between us, unspoken but aching. When he left the next morning, the door clicked shut too loudly. The room felt wrong after that. Too quiet. Too empty. Too big. That night, when I lay in bed, I waited. For the pull. For the glow. For him. Nothing came. The dream world stayed silent. For the first time, I slept alone. And realized how much of myself I'd already given away. Chapter 12, The Place We Finally Meet. The room stayed quiet after he left. Not the peaceful kind of quiet. The kind that presses against your chest until breathing feels like effort. Days passed, but the silence didn't soften. I trained harder than ever. Ran until my lungs burned raw. Lifted until my muscles shook and screamed. Pain was easier than absence. But no matter how much I exhausted my body, the space he'd left behind remained untouched. His side of the room stayed exactly the same. His scent lingered in places I refused to clean. Sleep became the hardest part. No dreams. No glowing world waiting for us. No magic pulling me somewhere warm and familiar. Just darkness. Just emptiness. That's when I understood. The dream world hadn't been a fantasy. It hadn't been fate or illusion. It had been a bridge. And without him on the other side, it had nothing left to hold. 2 weeks later, practice blurred together like every other day. Until the gym doors opened. I heard it before I saw him. Footsteps. Not loud. Not rushed. But familiar enough to make my heart stutter. I turned. He stood there, bag slung over his shoulder, hair slightly damp, eyes scanning the room like he was searching for something he wasn't sure he'd be allowed to find. Me. When our eyes met, everything else fell away. No teammates. No noise. No space. He didn't smile. He walked straight toward me, stopping just inches away, close enough that I could feel the warmth of him again, real, solid, here. I tried to focus, he said quietly. I tried to be strong. My throat tightened. And everything felt wrong without you. The words cracked something open inside me. All the restraint. All the fear. All the things I'd swallowed to stay brave. I thought I was protecting us, I confessed, voice trembling. By not asking you to stay. He lifted his hand, hesitating for half a second before resting it gently against my arm. You don't protect love by hiding it, he said softly. You protect it by choosing it. The gym faded. The world narrowed. Only us remained. I stepped closer, heart pounding, fear and certainty colliding. I choose you, I said. Not the dreams. Not the expectations. You. His breath shook. Say it again. I choose you. He pulled me into his arms so tightly it stole the air from my lungs, and gave it back all at once. It felt like coming home. That night, the dream world returned one last time. But it wasn't vast or glowing. No symbols. No rules. No force. Just a quiet place. And a door opening gently. This place was never about fate, a voice whispered. It was about courage. The world dissolved like mist at sunrise. We woke up together. No magic tugging us closer. No dreams pushing us apart. Just choice. Just love. And later, when people asked how it all started, I smiled. It began in my sleep, I said. But it became real when I finally woke up. Bonus chapter, Still Choosing You. The first thing people noticed was how calm we became. No tension. No fighting. No pretending. Just us. Late evening settled over the dorm, the kind of quiet that felt earned. City lights blinked through the window like they were watching, but we didn't care. We chose the floor over the bed, training mats spread out, wrappers discarded, our bodies close enough that warmth was unavoidable. You know, he said, voice lazy, eyes fixed on the ceiling, they still ship us. I have to laugh. Let them. At least this time, they got the ending right. He turned his head toward me slowly, like he didn't want to miss a second of my expression. His gaze lingered, soft, intent, dangerous in a way that made my chest tighten. You don't regret it? He asked. No teasing. No grin. I met his eyes. Held them. Not even once. The silence that followed wasn't empty. It hummed. He shifted closer, his arm brushing mine, then staying there. His head found my shoulder like it belonged there, like it always had. I could feel his breath through the fabric of my shirt, steady, warm, real. I used to think you were untouchable, he said quietly. All strength. All control. Like nothing could ever get under your skin. I smiled, eyes closing for a second. I thought you were doing it on purpose. Watching me like that. Testing me. I was, he admitted, lips curving. I wanted your attention. I wanted you to look back. I turned my head just enough to see him properly. You're unbelievable. And yet, he murmured, lifting himself slightly, fingers brushing my side as he shifted, you stayed. Our foreheads met. The contact was slow, deliberate. Breath mingled. I could feel his smile without seeing it, could feel the way the space between us charged, pulled tight like a held note. If we hadn't dreamed, I whispered, voice barely there, do you think we still would have ended up like this? He didn't answer right away. His thumb traced a small, absent circle near my hip, not asking, not rushing, just there. Yes, he said finally. It just would have taken longer. I smiled, my hand sliding up to rest at the back of his neck, fingers threading lightly into his hair. Good, I said. I like slow stories. He kissed me then. Not rushed. Not desperate. Warm. Intentional. The kind of kiss that lingered, that said I'm here without needing more. When we parted, his forehead rested against mine again, his hand flattening over my chest like he was memorizing the rhythm beneath it. No magic, he murmured. No dreams, I replied. Just choice. Every day, I said, pressing another soft kiss to the corner of his mouth, I choose you. Outside, the city lights flickered like distant stars. Inside, we stayed tangled together on the floor, breathing each other in. Exactly where we were meant to be. Together. Some stories are meant to be felt. Not explained. If this one stayed with you. If a moment made your heart pause. Or a character felt a little too real. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you felt. If you want to hear more stories like this, stay with me, subscribe BL Without Labels channel. And if this story found its way into your heart, share it with someone who might need it too. Until next time. Sweet dreams.